Welcome back to Cannock Paranormal Investigations. I hope you're well. Hope you're having a great week. And just to let you know, I've got a couple of videos apart from this one, which I still need to put together, edit, and post. But yeah, this video is actually delayed for a while because I kind of focused a little bit on Castle Ring on Cannock, which suddenly became this really exciting thing after we accidentally discovered four big footprints, and they really were big, and when we first discovered them, they were quite well defined. I really wish I had something like a LiDAR scanner or some of these like cement stuff to, I can't think of what it's called now, to actually take a cast of a foot, because there's a lot more you can tell about a cast of a foot rather than just its two-dimensional appearance. So yeah, I mean, and also on that occasion we heard some noises which then raised our interest, and always raises expectations of what you may discover on future investigations. As it happened, if you've watched the video, we didn't discover an awful lot. Although another team that were to join us, they actually did discover one anomalous sound that was coming from the forest. So anyway, that was the reason why I kind of put off making this video, which was from a place called Milford Common. Now, Milford Common is really interesting. The first two times I went to Milford Common, the activity was incredible. I think the very first time we went there, there was just the three of us, and I didn't really expect very much. It felt a little bit eerie. It was mentioned to me that a lot of occult activity went on there, and because of that, like when I went, I learnt that after I'd been, but when I went the very first time, the place did have this really odd, eerie feeling to it. And for sure we had no real activity until we were up on the plateau, because there is quite a steep walk to get up there. I can't think how high above it is. I think it might be about 80 meters or something. And again, it's one of these areas that's a very slow incline, so it really kind of takes it out of you to get up there. But yeah, when we're up there, things got a little bit odd and weird, and we saw a light anomaly, and then as we were coming back down the slope, a black shape shot past me and hit the back of my legs. So I kind of went flying over. And then the second time we went, so the first time we went was in November 2018. The second time we visited was March 2019. And this was around about the time when I started a Facebook group for, I decided to collect a group of people from different teams together for the sole purpose of investigating Cannock Chase, and it has been really successful at times. You know, there's maybe only been 3 of us, sometimes there's like 10 of us. So it's a little bit hit and miss because these different teams also have their own investigations to attend, and so you have to kind of like take the rough with the smooth. Sometimes I have ideas for an investigation that I have to kind of put on hold because there's not enough of us, and sometimes there's quite a few of us, so you never really know what you're going to get until very close to the time that you go. So yeah, Milford Common, the second time we went, I think it was March 9th, 2019. There was about 11 of us, and I'm always a little bit worried when there's such a large group because you don't really expect anything to occur. So interestingly, when we got up there, there was no activity whatsoever. And it all seemed to start when we had rather large electromagnetic readings from the base of a tree, and I think we switched it to a radiation setting as well. The microwave setting, and that also kind of registered quite high. And then for some reason, somebody decided to do some wood knocks. And they did the wood knocks, and then about 5 minutes later, for maybe not even that long, we heard wood knocks back. And then as we carried on, two of the team who are generally I would consider to be skeptics, and they generally come because it's just something for them to do. They like a bit of nature, they like a walk, and they reported seeing a dark shape moving across the path some distance behind us. And then we had this really weird sound coming from, again, back down into the valley towards the stepping stones, as if somebody was picking up a tree stump and they were like slamming it against the ground. Thump, thump, thump. And I have actually never heard anything like it. You could almost feel it. It felt like industrial machinery. There was, I mean, if this was at night, there was no industry about. There was literally nothing down this slope that we could think of. So that was incredible. That was the second time we went there. And I think the mistake we've made since then is that we tend to go there during the summer, and I'm not getting the same vibes during the summer as I would in winter and early spring. So you know, we are going to revisit there again, probably as the nights draw in, and see if maybe we can elicit the same kind of vibes as we got before. And also another thing to mention is that with these kinds of areas, I think particularly with this area, when we visited, and this is, I'm referring to the video I'm about to react to, you get a lot of animal life. There's frogs, there's birds, there's insects, there's literally everything there making a noise. So that's another thing that kind of bugs me a bit, because you're forever trying to differentiate between one sound and another. At least in winter, there you maybe get, or in autumn, winter, you'll get maybe, if there's deers about, you may be able to hear deers rutting, or owls, and you might get like foxes, or I've never seen any badgers around there, but you know, I'm pretty sure there's going to be foxes and stuff. So yeah, without further ado, I'm going to see if I can jump into this video. This video was from the Milford Common from the 5th of June, and there were 6 of us that attended this investigation. And I will say, actually, before I play the video, that the intention was to try and elicit a reaction from animals or birds, and anything else that seemed to be there. So we had a series of animal noises that we were at some point intending to play, to see if anything would happen, and yeah, and a general exploration of the area. So let's bring this video up. So I've got my headphones on and I'm ready to go through this video. First of all, I've got a couple of maps up like I usually put up, and I do this to help anybody who intends to maybe follow our investigation and come and have a look at this area for themselves. You don't always get a full impression of what the area is like from these aerial views, but it will give you an idea of where you can go to maybe park, or the route you could possibly take if you needed to maybe kind of check out the exact area that we've been. And as always, I would sort of urge you to do that with respect to the wildlife. Please don't go to Cannock Chase and light any fires, because that's, you know, really, really dangerous. These things can get out of hand really quickly, and there is an immense amount of wildlife that can suffer as a result. Normally we park around this area. At the beginning, I think it's called Milford Common, which is generally how I titled this video. And we kind of travelled across here. Then we went up this big long slope, and we're kind of heading towards an area around about here. where again it kind of dips back down to. So yeah, the target area that we were heading to is about here, and this plateau kind of extends down to there, and then there's quite a high drop down around about there. Similarly, I think it drops down here as well. And this actually is another car park called a Punch Bowl car park. And if you follow this route around, and then you kind of turn, you sort of go that way, you'll head towards a place called Stepping Stones, which is also quite interesting. Okay, so see what other maps I've put up, if any. All right, so this is a closer view of where we were. You can see the path forks a little bit, but if you kind of carry straight on, I think we usually stop around about here before it just drops steeply down, down to this path there. So, but you don't really kind of get the full appreciation of how dense these trees are from above. So it's a little bit misleading, I guess, but it's as good as representation as where we were going, as I think you're probably going to get. Okay, so from the opposite view, just looking actually, yeah, from the opposite view, I think we kind of head down to about here, stop there, and then there's quite a steep path that goes down there. One of the guys that was with us, he went investigating around this area, and he actually had to crawl back up this path because it was so steep, which is quite amusing really, because he's like a gazelle. He's a bit like a mountain goat crossed with a gazelle, and he can move around anywhere. He's got that agility. A little bit envious of that, to be honest, but it's kind of fun to see him disappear off into the night, and come back with information that we probably wouldn't have got because of the places that he goes. And as I said, this is the path that comes from the Punch Bowl car park. And if you ever wanted to go to Stepping Stones, you kind of come steeply around there, and it's just down that path there. Okay, I'm really kind of like over egging these maps, but I suppose this is the map that you can get an idea of. So that's Milford Common. That's where we were at the pub. Then we kind of come up a steep hill right there, and that brings you to this. It's a huge plateau. I'm guessing plateau is about the best word I can usually describe it, but it's a raised area of land, and you come up with a really high path there, and we come across here, and then we usually stop around about there, and then the path descends, as you can see, quite steeply right the way down to that path, which then takes you down to the stepping stones. And this is actually an area here that I've never explored, and I'm really tempted to check this area out as well. So I think next time we go to Milford Common, I think we're going to explore down this side, because that area looks vast. Sorry, I'm just thinking out aloud. So I'm not sure where this video starts. I think this may have been around about the point where I disappeared off on my own to see if I could film anything around, just to get an idea of the landscape going in a direction that I'd never actually previously been. So yeah, let's just have a listen. And this is an area where we previously heard wood knocks and large thumping sounds. So I'm probably about 50, 60 meters from the rest of the team at this point. And I'm really, really, truly on my own here. If I shouted, they could probably hear me just about. But because of the terrain, the noise doesn't really kind of really carry. So I was a little bit. I did hear a few kind of noises in and around me, but I'm not sure whether the microphone picked them up.
They'll see it as an easy target. So we might bring something that's, you know, like I don't think there's many predators.
If you stand by the distress call, give us a chance to get gone if it comes.
Well, if you see a big stag come running at you with his antlers.
Well, what's to say it ain't going to come to the speaker from that direction?
So just to stop this video for a second and explain that this was just before we played some animal distress calls, and this was our experiment for the night, to see if we can elicit any changes or even a response from an animal we couldn't necessarily immediately identify. And that's really why we were doing this, to see if this unknown things that we'd heard and before, whether they would respond to a different kind of sound. But yeah, also interesting to see how other animals would maybe respond to these sounds as well.
I'm off.
Okay, so yeah, this is, I don't know what volume it's on to begin with, so it might instantly be super loud. I'm sorry. Oh, that's not too bad.
Oh my god, that's so horrible.
It'll keep repeating.
Oh.
Do you remember the Sooty and Sweep show? Sooty and Sweep.
Didn't you see that at Lillishall Abbey when I would try and run in bat sounds and then I run Sooty and Sweep just to see what would happen? The only thing this is attracting is midges.
Yeah. Press the Lord, quick, get it. It's the sweat that's attracting them because they're from the salt.
If there's anyone walking by, they'll wonder what the fuck is going on. Right, I'll stop it for a bit. Because I don't think they make continual sound anyway when they're wild. Not unless they're already dying, you know. Kind of chase appropriate jumper.
Fucking hell. They're doing all for the bride.
That's okay.
Sounds like a hog.
Isn't that?
Similar to my noise down there, a kind of a low whimper.
Yeah.
I'll follow through in a minute. That's so stiff.
Is it moving round?
That's a sound similar to what I was running though.
think it was bats. It was bats. I've seen something flying around. Yeah, I've seen something flying, and then it stopped when we got up there.
Obviously,
It was a bat. I think it was a bat. That's what was making a sound. It was the bat in his throat. When they come out, they'll fly around and they'll catch any insects that are flying in it, and that's what they eat. And they locate him with their, that's what that noise is they're making. They make the noise, bouncing back right on there. Right down near you then, that is it. Right, it's flying in front of you, yeah, I can see it. What was that? Yeah. Yeah, that's all these midges. They can see it. I'm living on this chase.
We know somebody who's doing like that.
We know someone that used to be like that. Used to eat like that as well. Worst Godzilla fight ever.
I want to see that.
It's like, you know, when you get home and you've had a really busy day and the doorbell goes and you know it's a Chinese.
Yes, yeah, that's me.
That's an amazing speaker. Why, thank you. I bet you say that to all the boys.
It was like
Surround sound cinema or something, that was insane.
What speaker is it?
Sound car.
So we've got Ultimate Ears one in the bag.
Yeah, considering it's far away from you as well.
it's pretty cool.
Is it surround sound?
I don't know exactly how it works.
Mine's surround sound. It's really good. I don't know. I want to try that. It's really loud. That's a really good one.
I'm going to just initially start with 1 and then a 2 and then a 3 and then pause, just so that instead of pausing between, I'll do a 1, pause, 2, pause, 3 and then stop for a bit and listen, yeah? Just so that, I mean, I still don't think it's dark enough, but if bats are out, then whatever's coming out for night time started to get up.
Oh, lovely.
Oops.
There's that noise again, it must be a bird.
It's too loud.
That sounds like a pig, kind of. But it
about this. It doesn't sound like a bat. It doesn't sound like a bat.
It sounds like, you know, when they hear the noises hippos make? That kind of wah, wah, wah. You know, when you see them on safari and stuff? Well, a really small hippo then.
Go investigate.
Probably is a toad or a frog. You said there's a pool down there, that noise would carry, wouldn't it?
That's a bat.
That's not a bat.
Would that be a distress noise?
It doesn't sound happy.
That's what I meant, like a warning.
You know, we have them around and noises and banging and stuff, so we are going to be upsetting things. But that's only a good thing. We're not hurting out, you know what I mean?
No.
It does sound like a distress. But that could be frog, but I doubt it. It sounds like a bird. That can't have been frog what we heard before.
I've never heard this many sounds like at the same time. That. If I'm to be honest, that sounded a lot like what we heard at the German cemetery, but it was more that sounded like a little. So maybe it was pigs up there.
Well, there has been wild boar spotted, but not enough to suggest a population, but it was with babies.
A weird shit going on there. Contact. What?
The thing's crawling.
Oh, yeah, everything's dangling all over me.
Yeah, I'm being bitten the shit out of.
It's horrible, isn't it? I always think, you know, when you did that territorial thingamajig, that was like the back warning all the others that something is about to kick off. I'm not sure what that noise was because it heard that. What do you reckon?
Well, the good thing is that if bats are warning each other, if animals are warning each other, then there stands a chance that if there's anything else up here.
We need to go. Maybe.
No,
I can't believe you do this shit on your own. Okay, honestly.
Not always. Just when
You're brave, man.
no, it's more stupidity.
I always shit me pants
it's
when
like-
there's about 10 of us.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. When I'm in woods on my own doing that, I shit myself. That one you can even see it on that one when I do stepping stones. You see me starting to be like, oh fucking hell, I don't like this.
But it's that.
You don't get that feeling in a group though. I don't feel
No.
scared, and if we heard some rustling over there, I'd be like, well, you know, I can outrun you lot. I'll be alright.
Easily. Let me
But
just
on
put it out
my
there.
own, it's like totally different.
But it could be
Even
like-
when we were down there through daylight, it would a
Could
bit
be like Predator, where he could like enjoy the chase.
yeah.
Doesn't attack the
You've got to
slow.
run medium. There's that whack, whack, whack.
Can't be a duck, isn't it?
No, but it's not, but I think it's some kind of bird though. I'm no expert and I haven't heard that before, but it can't
I'll
be.
be honest with you, at the moment there's a lot of shit I ain't heard right now.
No, I mean I've been here 4 times and I've never heard.
You had all this before?
I've never heard so many different sounds.
Yeah.
No, but they'll
Doesn't
be
mean-
reacting to the noises we're
They
running
will,
because
yeah.
it's like even if they haven't heard these noises before, it's something for them to be like, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean?
It's a new stimulus for them.
Yeah. It's like I really, really want to say something, but at the same time I don't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
One of the studies I did in psychology was about howler monkeys, and they called it linguistic recursion. And the howler monkeys they had one sort of set pattern of language, and it went on for years and years and years until one day there was, I think there were these birds of prey landed on their island, and they had to develop a whole different language for the birds of prey. So if you was to play those here long enough, then even any animal expert would suddenly think it's weird.
Yeah, the other animals have changed what they're
They've
doing.
changed their reactions to noises.
One of them wolf sounds, but they haven't come back, and I don't want them to shit themselves.
I'd rather go with someone doing the same stuff as this if I'm honest.
Or both.
Or both.
I'd say there is probably a path down there.
Like a path.
It would be the path leading to the car park. Near the closest to the refugee
Yeah,
station.
the punch bowl car park. But then we're gonna have a massive walk back to the car on the main road without no path.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have a quick little look. Obviously it's dodgy when you have to look round to follow it, so there is a path down there.
like it's coming from definitely the other side of the road though.
Yeah, that's really good there.
Frog, the big squeak.
Oh, that's my heart.
Oh, I like the tattoo on your leg.
It's a nice one, isn't it? Oh, find some at Solomon, just like a few.
No, I believe the symbol behind it is special on journey.
That's the power, isn't it? For that?
Oh, actually, with a bottle of wine and some gummy vegan sweets.
My daughter has just bought a photo of a tattoo. And the people that signing those, I was going to say, I've been not three people. They come in to do tattoos with them. Someone put it in love and they said, a girl called Debbie done that. I'm not sure. Then the other one showing on your arm. You notice you've got Right where they are.
Rub and that one.
Right at the top there.
And that one.
Stag in the forest.
Yeah, yeah, 'cause, I mean, I can see from this distance that that's got multi-depth as well as a fox-eye wolf.
Yeah. A fox looking goat, so it's supposed to be a wolf, but I asked for it to be changed into a fox.
Is Vivid Ink at the back by the law court there?
No, Vivid Ink's down on
Nostalgia Comics.
Yes.
Birmingham Centre.
Yes.
Yeah, Birmingham.
Yeah.
There's one in Moseley, there's one in Coventry, there's a new one in Coventry.
Yeah, there's a new one. Warren.
Is there one in Sutton, Vivid Ink?
Yes. Yeah.
They're all over, yeah.
We've got about 8 now.
Yeah, I think the Moseley one's more realism. I recognise them anyway. Kyle got the Birmingham from the daughter. But yeah, like I say, if anyone's interested, you do £40 an hour.
Expensive, isn't it? I'm not saying that's
I
relative,
don't
but
know,
I
I don't know what it's like. I think there's a 45 if you look at some of the art there, absolutely amazing.
I just didn't realise it cost that much to have a tattoo.
Yeah, but I think it's a very
160, 80
decorative.
quid, depending on where you're going.
Yeah.
More if you're getting like photographic type stuff. And how many hours? I mean, I know it depends, but some of them must take hours, right? Yeah, this entire section of my forearm, right? It's not the entire way around because that's old stuff. But where it's darker here, it just comes up to here. That were about 4 hours. Yeah.
My stag was 5. One on this arm, black one.
Yeah.
That was 5 hours.
That's
So an hour and a half for the colour one, that was
It's a bit high
2.5.
on the home. They were practicing on it.
Yeah.
And that's all we haven't done, on it.
The one I'd like to have done. Just that was very expensive.
What's that?
Like a Celtic knot type dragon, but it goes around, wraps around your arm,
No.
but you can only really freehand it.
Right.
So you need to be freehand.
Yeah.
But if you've got the right artist, do the work, then yeah. I think body art's really, really nice.
What's it?
Back dinner.
Humans. The most terrifying thing on Cannock chase.
That sounds like that sound. The predator.
Yeah.
That clicking sound, it sounds like a predator.
Oh,
I know what you mean now.
No one heard it from somewhere.
Oh my god, was that you?
Yeah.
In a minute, you'll have a predator come up and kill us all. Yeah, you get 3 dots on you.
Probably try to marry me. Somebody's having a party. There is a car park. The way we came, you know the hill thing, the plateau. If you go up and above that, there's a car park there.
Shall we call out for some spirits?
Yeah. I've still got a bit of battery life.
We all gather around in a rough facing one another.
Yeah.
Just so that we can all see one another, so we all know we're not shuffling and making noise ourselves more than anything. I don't believe in all that energy nonsense. I don't believe in ghosts, but it would be interesting to just call out and see if we get any noises or reactions. I'm going to do some of the stuff they tell you not to do. I'm going to invite something to attach itself to me and come home with me, but only because I don't believe there's really something, or I won't really do it. But if something does attach and come home with me, I will then know. But there's a few people that are like, you shouldn't be doing stuff like that, Kev.
Go for it.
Are there any spirits here in the surrounding woodland area? Can you come forward and make a noise and make yourself known?
Can you make a banging sound on the ground? Can you touch one of us? Can you make an audible sound? A groan, a moan? Say a word? I'm inviting any spirit in the surrounding woodland area to come and join us, human or otherwise. If you make a sound, I give you full permission to attach yourself to me and come home with me. But you must make a sound. That's the deal.
So guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Just brought up this map again at the end of the video just to reconfirm where we were. I think we were around about here. You may have noticed the big hill going down. We also travelled, I think, this way. So we ended up towards the main road, which was just out of screenshot. Where I really want to kind of like travel next is I want to go the opposite way down to here and maybe explore some of this area. It seems like a really, really good area, and we have had activity here before, so I think it's really, really worth returning. But I would like to return when the weather's a little bit cooler. And as you probably noticed, there was like millions of insects, lots of noises that we couldn't identify. So yeah, I'd like to return to this area again when it's a little bit cooler, so that we can eliminate some of the peripheral sounds, if you like. So folks, that was the end of the video, and you know, I like to think that by posting these paranormal investigations where we don't find anything, I think it's just as important as to kind of post stuff where everybody's jumping around and screaming, which doesn't really often very happen with our group because we're quite pragmatic, and we're also very aware that not all sounds are paranormal. But having said that, you know, it's, you know, about 3 to 4 hours of, you know, marching around, and it's quite tiring, and we put a lot of effort into these locations. Some nights I kind of wish I was just going into a pub and sitting down on a sofa for 4 hours recording from a stationary position without any frogs, gnats, or other animal noises. And yeah, you know, if I get the opportunity, I probably will do a few indoor investigations if they come up. But you know, that's what these investigations are about. You don't always have results from them that would make for kind of great viewing. But having said that, I mean, I've just listened through the footage with you guys. I may have missed something that you may pick up. I don't see everything or hear everything, particularly with having one dodgy ear at the moment. It's I can't really hear. I think this is my dominant ear as well, so I can't actually hear anything out of this ear right now. So everything is magnified into my other ear. So yeah, I also, as I mentioned at some point, I think during our video when we were playing the animal noises, we did have like a hive of animal activity, vocalizations, just after we played some distress calls. I think there was some wolf noises, lots. I think there was some hogs or pigs, maybe boars. So yeah, we played, and I think there was dogs as well. So yeah, although we didn't elicit a reaction from a Bigfoot or something like that, or something else paranormal, we did elicit reactions from other animals that are about. So it was a useful experiment as far as that goes. It's a shame that we never played a Bigfoot call to see whether anything would come back on that. You know, and we can. I see lots of television series where they play a Bigfoot call and immediately they get a reaction, but you know, I don't kind of like buy that. Generally, things tend to happen in the paranormal world when you least expect them, and quite often, you know, the camera's just turned off and something will happen. Famously had a case like that in Sutton Park, where I travelled through a bush. Like I say, a bush, I mean, it was probably about 30-40 meters through solid bush, and as I came out the other end, I turned my phone off, and as I turned my phone off, all hell broke loose, and I still don't know what that was to this day. But so yeah, things tend to happen when the camera's turned off, but in this case we did get a reaction, but it wasn't the reaction that we, or the source of the reaction wasn't where we were expecting, to be fair. And that kind of like reminded me of a bit of psychology that I was doing when I was at university, which was to do with linguistic recursion, where animals learn a different form of their own language in order to react to a new stimulus. And in that case, I think it was an island where that had a lot of these howler monkeys. And I don't know how it came about, but you had harpy eagles suddenly turned up on this island, and because they were a threat, the howler monkeys had to learn a new form of their own language in order to account for the new threat, so they could communicate with each other, and that was known as linguistic recursion. So yeah, it was an interesting experiment. Unfortunately, we didn't elicit any other paranormal activity, no meter activity or anything like that. But as I say, you know, I watch these videos, I listen to these videos with you guys, and it doesn't mean to say that because I'm saying we didn't get any activity, doesn't mean to say that I haven't missed anything in these videos. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and I have got another video lined up which actually isn't, it's away from Cannock Chase, and it was at a place called White Ladies Priory, outside of Wolverhampton, between Wolverhampton and Telford. And then on the same night we took a trip over to a place called Lillishore Abbey, which was quite really impressive structure, another ruin. Both these were around about medieval ruins of priory and an abbey, so quite interesting stuff that was, and I'll see if I can make a video out of that and post it, but in the meantime, thanks for tuning in. I might actually break this video up into two parts, so yeah, can't really think of anything else to say about this video, except that I'm going to try and post a few more videos more frequently, just to kind of keep the interest. And yeah, of course, like I intended, my original intention with these videos was just to post them to have a record of them, because writing a report on my group's page doesn't always, I suppose, stand up over time, and they're sometimes difficult to locate as well, so it's easy to have like a time-stamped video for these occasions on the different medium, I suppose, like YouTube. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.